So welcome to the embedded system class. In this video we are going to discuss about embedded hardware and various building blocks of embedded system. Embedded system hardware circuitry has power source, power system circuit, oscillators. So oscillators are mainly used to generate clock signals, timing devices, input output and output ports, ADC and DAC, LCD, LEDs and touch screens, keypad, keyboard or interrupt controllers. So first block is power source. So various units in an embedded systems operate in one of the ranges from 0 to 25 volts. So some blocks need 5 volts and some blocks need 0 to 3 volts and some block need 0 to some 12 to 15 volts. So whatever the power supply each block needs, this our power source will transfer that power supply. So second block is clock, oscillator and clocking units. The clock controls the time for execution and instruction, right? Each instruction will be executed in one clock cycle. A processor needs a clock oscillator circuitry. So the clock controls the various clocking requirements of the CPU, of the system timers and the CPU machine cycles. So every embedded system circuitry will have different types of clock circuitries. PWM clock, USB clock, system clock, different types of clocks are there. So each instruction will be executed in one clock cycle. So next third block is system timers. So a timer circuitry is used for generates interrupts periodical. The system clock ticks and generates system interrupts periodically. System clock ticks can be 60 times per second. Next one are real time clocks, RTC. A real time clock is required in system. The clock drives the timers for various timings and counting needs in a system. We have fifth block is nothing but reset circuitry. So reset circuitry is mainly we use reset to a block whenever a block is in hang state. So we need to reset that state because one of the characteristics of embedded system is reliability. If we purchase any embedded system like a washing machine or microwave oven, we can use it for a long time, not for short duration. So for long for long time we use an embedded system. So that is one of the best characteristics of an embedded system, reliability. So whenever a system is in hang state, it is automatically reset that block. So using watchdog timers we can reset that device. So next blocks are memories. So various forms of memories are used in embedded systems: internal RAM and external RAM, internal ROMs and external ROMs like EEPROM, flash memories. Different types of RAMs are there. So in RAMs there are two types of RAMs are there: static RAM and dynamic RAM. So most of the embedded system they use static RAMs. So because these are very faster than the DRAM, and we use PROM as EEPROM and flash memory. So we know the difference, right? EEPROM is electrically erasable read-only memory, whereas flash memory is like EEPROM. So but in EEPROM we can erase a single line, whereas in flash memory we can erase a block of instruction in a clock period. So we use to store the instructions we use ROM, to store data we use RAM memory. So next devices are input output devices and input output ports. So serial input output ports and we connect input peripherals using these ports. So ports are mainly two types: serial communication ports and parallel communication ports. So these are like buses. So we know what is bus. Bus is nothing but which will connect IO devices to the processor with the help of, it is like a connecting wires which connect input devices to CPU, output devices to CPU. So these buses are also known as serial communication buses and parallel communication buses. So with the help of these buses we can connect IO devices. So there are two types of communication: serial communication and parallel communication. So serial communication means we can send the data one by one, serially, one by one. Whereas in parallel communication, whatever the data we want to send, we can send in one clock cycle. So there are differences between parallel communication and serial communication. So compared to parallel communication, serial communications are preferable, because here whatever the data, with the help of only a single wire we can transfer the data. So the circuit complexity is very less in serial communication device buses compared to parallel communication. And one more very important difference between serial and parallel communication is, for long distances we use serial communication rather than parallel communication, because whatever the size of the length of the data, so if suppose we are sending 8 bits, we need to use 8 bytes in parallel communication, whereas in serial communication whatever the data size we use a single wire. So the circuit complexity is very less, and for long distances we use serial communication devices. So those are the different types of communication devices we have, and there are two types of converters. So first one is analog to digital converter, second one is D to A converter. So ADC is input device, DAC is output device. So sensors will sense the outer world and it converts that signal into electrical wave. That electrical wave is given to ADC. ADC is a device which convert this electrical signal into digital signals. And second converter is nothing but DAC. DAC is a digital to analog converter which convert analog signals or digital signal into analog converters. And output devices are also called as actuators. So we use actuators as